The comedian may be better known for his alter ego, but he has many other roles under his belt. Mrs. Brown's Boys has an army of loyal fans right across the UK, with viewers amused by Agnes Brown and her outrageous comments. But who is the funny man under the wig, and what else has he been in? Here is the lowdown on Brendan O'Carroll. Getty Images 3. Brendan O'Carroll sitcom has won a number of NTAs. Who is Brendan Carroll these days? Brendan O'Carroll is better known for his alter ego Agnes Brown, but this is by far not the only role he has played. The 62-year-old is the youngest of 11 children and was born in Dublin to mum Maureen, a Labour TD, and dad Gerald, a carpenter. Tragedy struck when Brendan was just 7 and his dad died, leaving his mum struggling to raise her children on little income. He left school aged 12 and went on to have a number of different jobs before settling into writing, producing, acting and doing stand-up comedy. Other than Mrs. Brown's Boys, he has frequently appeared on The Late Late Show, co-wrote the screenplay to boxing movie Sparrow's Trap, and has starred in a number of films and TV shows. He has been married twice, to Doreen O'Carroll from 1977 to 1999 and Mrs. Brown's Boys co-star Jennifer Gibney from 2005. Brendan's first son, named after him, died when he was 3 days old from spina bifida. He has 3 grown-up children with his first wife and 6 grandsons. When 3, Brendan has been married to his Mrs. Brown's Boys co-star Jennifer Gibney since 2005. When did Brendan O'Carroll's Mrs. Brown's Boys first start? Mrs. Brown's Boys of Today was developed from a short radio play Brendan performed entitled Mrs. Brown's Boys in 1992. He then went on to write 4 books: The Granny, The Scrapper, The Chiselers and The Mammy. In 1999 a film was released based on The Mammy and was called Agnes Brown, for which he co-wrote the screenplay. BBC 3. Brendan first started working on a character called Agnes Brown in the 90s. He went on to put together his own theatre company and ended up being the one dressing up as Mrs. Brown after the original actress failed to dress up. Brendan wrote and performed in 5 plays from 1999 to 2009 and retoured in 2011. They were subsequently adapted into a TV sitcom over 3 series. In 2014 million rupees. Brown's Boys D movie, and while it was a hit with cinema-goers, it was panned by critics and received 7% on Rotten Tomatoes. Who is Brendan Carroll's character Agnes Brown? Agnes Brown is the main character in Mrs. Brown's Boys and is a widow who lives with 3 of her 6 children. These include hairdresser son Rory, promoter Dermot and Kathy, played by Brendan's real-life wife Jennifer. She often spends her evenings at local pub Foley's with best friend and neighbour Winnie. Most read in TV showbiz Who Is He? EastEnders accidentally reveals identity of Mick Carter's mystery shooter. How much? Corrie fans spot major blunder as Michelle racks up huge bill in the corner shop California drinking. Michelle Keegan downs shots with Mark right as they ring in New Year. Cons BEDBOUND McGregor forced to cancel night bash plans after catching Aussie flu virus. 1 year on EastEnders, viewers in tears as Jack Branning remembers Ronnie and Roxy's death. Amazing year. Vogue Williams reveals favourite thing about 2017 in New Year's Eve post. What is All Round to Mrs. Brown's? All Round to Mrs. Brown's is a British-Irish comedy talk show. It's created by and stars Brendan along with his family and other cast members from his original comedy show, Mrs. Brown's Boys. The show is presented by Mrs. Brown's daughter Kathy. Each guest also brings their own mammy along, and they are interviewed by Mrs. Brown in the kitchen. Shock moment: Aston Marigold's crotch is grabbed on All Round to Mrs. Brown's.